And in case you didn't know, on this Monday morning, today kicks off the first day of early voting for the November election. And there are two local propositions on the ballot, a lot to talk about. The most controversial is Proposition A. If approved by voters, it would increase Austin police staffing to 2 officers per 1,000 citizens, increase yearly training, and increase minority hiring and community engagement. And joining us on this Monday morning, Austin Mayor Steve Adler joins us to answer some questions about Prop A and some of these other hot topics. Good morning, Mayor. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
Absolutely. And leading up to today, of course, Proposition A has been heavily debated in our community. You know, some arguing that a significant increase in homicides, crime, different things this year reflects the need for more officers. But others on the other side of the spectrum, like local labor union groups, feel an increase in officers would force cuts to fire, EMS, and 911. What are your thoughts? What outcome are you hopeful for with this?
Well, I think it's real important for people to note that the police chief doesn't support the funding staffing model of Proposition A. It's opposed by the Firefighters Association, the EMS Association, and over 100 different organizations. I'm not sure there's any organization that actually supports Proposition A other than the police union. We need more officers. We have almost 200 funded police officer positions that aren't filled, that we're trying desperately to get filled. That's why we have a cadet class finishing up. We have 2 more coming on next year. But Proposition A wants 500 officers on top of those 200 officers. And I think everyone that's really looked at this sees a real problem with our budget. It's going to require cuts in other public safety, EMS, fire, mental health first responders. It's going to impact funding for libraries and pools. Because of the state legislature, we're right now funding our police more than we have ever in our history. $10 million more than the most we've ever done. And we pay more per capita as a community for police than any other large city. Proposition A is just the wrong idea. And it's something that once it gets started, because of the state law, it's something we can never change.
Absolutely. Something else I want to ask you about is with affordable housing. Of course, recently we've seen just such an influx of people moving here in Austin, and I know City Council has discussed the need for more affordable housing. I know we have some leaders in Nashville over the weekend that were talking a little bit about that as well. It seems local developers are kind of struggling to get some of these deals to be finalized and passed, but also, you know, people who currently live in some of our apartments are also struggling with the rent. I guess, what do we need to do to make affordable housing and quality housing a reality here in Austin?
Well, my belief is we need more housing supply. When you have so many people that are bidding against one another for very limited supply, it's going to push rents up. It's going to push prices up, which is why we have to increase supply. We came close to changing the land development code to allow for that. The court stopped us. So now we're doing it on a smaller item by item basis. We, as a community, have adopted bonds to be able to help underwrite affordable housing in the community. We have several different programs, Affordability Unlocked. We've just asked the manager to come back with a plan to help us even more. We have some employers in town, the large employers that are coming to town, and we're trying to encourage them to also build affordable housing for their employees. But this is now that we've taken care of Project Connect and gotten transportation lined out for the next 10 years, housing and housing supply is our next really big challenge.
Absolutely. And I know right now employers in our area and really across the state are grappling with how to handle vaccine mandates, as of course our governor remains determined to ban any entity from mandating them. What do you feel is best for employees in the city of Austin? How should employers be handling this back and forth battle?
You know, it's confusing, and that's incredibly unfortunate. This shouldn't be a political issue. Businesses should have the right, the freedom, the liberty to be able to decide in their business what they're going to do to protect their employees and to protect their customers. And the governor's mandate against mandates is the most cruel mandate of them all. We know vaccines work. I walk through the ICUs in our city, and almost everybody that's there are people that are not vaccinated, people on ventilators, not vaccinated, people dying, or almost all people not vaccinated. And they're taking up space and room in the ICUs. That makes it harder for other people to be able to get in when they have a heart attack or any kind of emergency that requires them to go. I appreciate that the federal government has an order with respect to vaccine mandates, letting companies do that, and I think in this instance the federal order controls.
Lastly, for anyone in our area who doesn't think their vote makes a difference, what would you say to them on this Monday, early voting?
I say it's really important for people to vote. The proponents of Prop A have purposely arranged for this election to happen at a very low turnout election. So this election that begins early voting today, and then day of voting is the first week of November. There's not a president on the ballot. There's not a governor on the ballot. So I think the proponents are hoping for a really low turnout so that a small number of people can make a decision for an entire community. This Proposition A really does turn back the clock. It's trying to go back to an old standard that really wasn't accepted even in the olden days, certainly not today. And we need everyone to vote because everyone's vote does count. It's going to be a low turnout election, which means every vote's going to count even more than it usually does.
Absolutely. Mayor Adler, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us on this Monday morning. We sure do appreciate it.
Thank you.